Yes, he's one of our own. Just how far can Watson go? That's the main question we're focusing on this week on Where Black Cats Walk. Plus, we give you some credit for Sunderland's succession planning. More on that in a second. Set pieces, is it just nonsense or do Sunderland need to be paying more attention to it? And who have been the best fans so far this season to the Stadium of Light? We're also getting some FA Cup draw reaction from Charlie, Dylan, Jamie and John, and thank you very much for watching. Before we go any further, please, if you haven't yet done so, drop us a subscribe. We know there's tons and tons of Sunderland content. We love it too. We watch it too. But this is just 20 minutes of reviewing all the tweets and all the hullabaloo around safc. So thank you very much for joining us. Charlie, kick us off this week then. He's one of your own. How good is Watson and how far can he go in your mind?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say just off the last 2 or 3 games, but I mean, he's really came on. Even in these games, he has came on quite a lot. And with in the West Brom game last week, was it? He kind of he didn't do anything wrong per se. He just didn't really get into his game. But then the last 2, he's just just took it all away and started. He just running at players, getting shots off, looking really confident. And yesterday, I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, stunning performance. Buff Hagen says, young Watson was awesome again. 2 games in a row. He's been our best player. What a fantastic player. Dylan, were you one of those that have heard of him coming through the ranks and knew how good he was before the rest of the world have learned about him?
Well, of course, it's been very well documented how well he's done for the 21, sort of the start of the season. He's been on fire for them, and it's at the point where he had to start getting first-team opportunities because he's probably performing at a level where it's going to be a waste to keep him in the youth team. Even against West Brom, I know he didn't have the best of games, but they had a lot of men back and he sort of just kept running into trouble. But I was quite impressed by the fact that he didn't shy away from it, like the few times where he sort of was a bit unsuccessful. He still played directly, still gave it a go. And when obviously this weekend, when he's had a bit more space, he's got 2 goals and he's shown he's got the quality to make an impact at first-team level. But yeah, I'm just excited to see that he's doing well and hopefully we can manage him well and have him play more regularly this season and just see how he develops.
Absolutely. Jamie, fans love a player that runs at defenders and he's got that. Has he got that Jack Clarke like quality for you where he wants the ball all the time and once he gets
he even looks like Jack Clarke, to be honest, in his appearance. I was down at Preston when he made his first start and he got played on the right hand side and he did look a bit short that night, but you give the lad his due. He's fought back and he started down at Millwall again where he got a bit of flack for not being ready, but the game since then he looks a lot more settled, a lot more confident. The players are giving him a lot of the ball and he's capable of going both ways, and his delivery in the box, his balls in the box from that side of the pitch are fantastic. I would probably even say better delivery than Jack Clarke had. Jack Clarke got a lot of flack for his balls in the box at times from good areas, but Watson's just got a bit more of a cooler head when he gets in them areas by the looks of it so far. But without tempting fate, a long way to go yet. Can he go and do it for 15, 20 games and see where we are then?
Absolutely, yeah. But there's a bandwagon to jump on, so why not? Should he have had a hat-trick for you, Jamie?
He should have done, to be fair. He missed it on his right foot. I think if he has that chance 10 times, he scores 8 of those. I think given the benefit of the doubt, the conditions weren't great. It came through someone's legs and he should have scored it, but he scored 2. He got the win.
Okay. It is the win, of course, which we've been missing. John, did it feel good to leave the Stadium of Light with 3 points? Had you forgotten what that felt like for a couple of months, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. I think it's one of those games where just go and win the game. I think we deserved to win. And obviously it sets up hopefully a nice positive week. Obviously Bristol City at home to Tuesday night. But yeah, just when we were missing a few chances, a bit like, is it going to be our day? But hopefully we've put that to bed a little bit. Obviously I know it took a deflection, but I think we more than deserved it. So yeah, it was a really, really good, happy feeling.
Okay. Now, there are people that call us out, particularly when Dylan and I have chatted in the past about Dan Neil, saying you're too negative about him, give him a break. Can we all agree that was a good game from Dan Neil, maybe one of his best this season? Dylan, I'll come to you for this one, given that you've had lots to say on him in the past.
Yeah, well, no, to be fair, I've always said good things about Dan Neil. I have said that maybe he's playing as the most holding of the three midfielders is a bit detrimental to him, which I think at times it has been this season. But he was certainly good at the weekend. He still did lose the ball a couple of times in a bit of sloppy fashion, which he has been prone to quite a lot this season. But I think, to be fair, when as you said there, we've been going without a win for that long. I don't think we can get on anyone's back too much after the result that we just had. But yeah, I think it's becoming a theme in games where he gets more time on the ball and he can sort of focus on his passing and his ball carrying. He tends to perform better. When we're getting battered and he needs to defend, that's when he starts making the silly decisions and getting daft yellow cards and putting us in sort of sticky situations. But hopefully he can sort of keep his form up and maybe Samed might struggle to get in the team when he's eventually fit.
Okay. I really hope this doesn't come back to bite me next week and he gets a red card at Swansea. Apologies in advance. John, last week we talked about Patrick Roberts while these three were away. For you, did he have a good game as well?
Yeah, I thought he did, to be fair. I mean, he did go through and sort of sky one. I was thinking, is that going to be the pattern of his game? But, I thought he worked really hard, to be fair, and his defensive duties, certainly helped. And going forward, I think it was a little bit better. I think it was more confident. Obviously, got an assist. So you've got to be happy with that. I think we said it's always a confidence thing with him. They probably put an arm around him this week, with 10 days off, and said, "Come on, you've got the ability, mate. Just keep." And he didn't look like he was lacking in that game. And to get the assist, more than happy for him. And I saw someone say, "Oh, that's it. Shut the haters up now." And it's like, well, we were probably fair to criticize. We're allowed to criticize when you're not good, and when you're good, you get full praise. So like we said, there's no in between.
Yeah, absolutely. Theo. Theo says Roberts played well. Finally, let me ask Charlie and Jamie about their view on Patrick Roberts then, to make sure we've got a balance, because I feel maybe we were too harsh on him last week. Charlie, is Patrick Roberts a good footballer?
I think he's an excellent footballer. Although for such a good footballer, I always question his ability to actually kick the ball. Is my main thing. Whether it's from a set piece or shooting. I mean, when I'm with my mates, I'm like, I'll just go, right, which one's this hitting? The bloke and rules there to the first man from corners. Like every time, I'm just never confident. I was never confident when he stepped up for the penalty. But as much as I criticise him, he is like a very, very, very good footballer, especially dribbling. I mean, it's just hard push to find anybody better in this league. But he's just got to get more goals and assists. I mean, that's the only reason why there was ever a debate between him and Abdullah Bar last year, because Roberts just is better, but Bar was contributing. So if he keeps getting assists, especially from open play, then keep him in. That's all I ask from him.
Okay. That is my favourite quote of all time. That he's a good footballer, but he can't kick the ball. Jamie, where do you stand on this Patrick Roberts debate?
I think with most people, I think we all like Patrick, and we can see his ability on the ball. He gives us great shape. It's just so frustrating. He gets into great areas, and like Charlie says, it's just his final ball, his product, that kind of decision making at the final moment just lets him down way too often. He should be scoring a lot more goals and getting a lot more assists than he does. I think he will come good. Hopefully this season he will get one that flies in the top corner going across the goalkeeper, and he'll deserve it, because he doesn't hide either. He gets a lot of the ball and he keeps asking for it, and he's a great dribbler. Just like I say, the end product that lets him down.
All right. Let's leave the Stoke game alone then. Just a word on the attendance, Dylan. I mean, you've probably seen the Newcastle fans pointing out the empty seats. The fans just went to the back, didn't they? They were there. They just hid under the shelter, yeah?
In all fairness, a lot of people did do that. However, I think a lot of people started to get a bit wound up when they're announcing the attendance, and you're just looking around going, like, why they're lying? And I'm pretty sure they count all the season tickets, regardless of whether they show up or not. Yeah. But I will vouch for a lot of people did just go stand at the top of the south stand. I'm quite fortunate. I'm in the west stand a bit higher up, so I was nice and dry, albeit still freezing. But I would have been doing the same if I was down there with that rain. So I'll not knock anybody for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been God.
Them front seats in the East End are a nightmare. You wouldn't have been sitting there yesterday.
I've been there as an away fan a long time ago. It's bitterly cold. Fair enough. The other one we were asking about is succession planning. So this has been a theme throughout social media as well. People raising this. Bradley says, Jack Clarke leaves, up steps Remain Mundle. Excellent this season. Mundle ruled out for 8 weeks, up steps Tommy Watson. They get the stick when it's deserved, but the succession plan in that area is absolutely outstanding and deserves every bit of credit. And then I'll come on to that in a second. There was another one which said defensively also, you've got that right as well, because when the defenders are out, you have this rotation plan of people coming in. So, Dylan, do we need to give more credit where credit is due for the succession planning going on at your club?
It's a bit of a coin toss because, as they just said there, in certain areas like the left wing situation, we've done quite well in that regard. But then we also had, when we had the suspensions and the injuries, we had to have a makeshift defence. The centre-backs were quite good at being able to rotate when people are missing and injured. But I mean, if Trey Hughes missing a game, we're having to play someone at right back who's not a right back. And when Adji and Servant are both out, we're doing the same at the left back position. So I think a bit more depth in full-backs would be nice. And the same with our midfield. We looked so much worse when Job was suspended. We didn't have someone to come in and sort of fill the void that he left. But yeah, I think they're starting to get it right. It's always going to be a long-term project, especially when you're sort of focusing around bringing in young players. But they're starting to get more right than they're getting wrong, and I think they're making up for things that they might have sort of done poorly in the past.
Okay, John, what's your take on it? Is it just good luck, or is there some actually clever management thinking behind what's been going on?
I probably think it's a bit of both. Sort of 6 months ago, Watson's probably not ready, whereas the moment has come, with Mundle and obviously Clarke leaving and Mundle injured. It just seems to have sort of fallen in line. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they're doing some good work with him, and we've got some fantastic players coming through. But it's whether they're ready or not. I think, like Dylan was saying, central midfield. I don't think we could maybe put, one of the kids in, like from the under 23s. Albeit I know we've got Rig in there. I don't think anyone is going to be up to their level. So it is. I think it is a bit of. A bit of balance. Obviously, we're struggling with a few injuries in those departments. But yeah, it seems to be in the background. Something's going well. Some things, we've signed a few players like, we said last week, Paveda and Sam Ed, we just can't seem to get them fit, which would probably be ideal from the squad. And then you've got sort of, who we'd have said is probably nowhere near the first team in Tommy Watson, and now he's probably, last 2 games been the best player and really, really stood out. So I think like Dylan said, it is a bit of that coin toss, but certainly we're heading in the right direction.
Okay. I also want to talk about the wage structure a little bit here. Jamie, this was published a couple of weeks ago with the current wage bill at each club as it stands this season. You can see yourselves there in 19th for just over 8 million in total as for the wages for this season. Does that A, surprise you, and B, does it just highlight how much of a good job Regis Labrie is doing? Given look at all the teams well above you. I mean, Leeds, for example, in terms of wages, nearly 5 times as much as you're paying out.
I think I've seen that graphic before, so. I wouldn't say it surprises me. I think we're all aware, as fans of Sunderland, we aren't the biggest wage payers. I don't think we will be with this model, this structure. I think the structure is kind of bring players in, let them flourish, and then cash in if they do succeed. Like I say, there's some big spenders in the league. We're nowhere near the likes of Leeds United, Sheffield United. So we are over-exceeding to quite a large extent if you look at those figures. And yeah, give Regis give him his due. He's working wonders currently. January comes around and we'll probably dip in the market, I think, in 1 or 2 areas again, but without breaking the bank. I think it'll be sensible spending. We've had a history of bad spending that got us into the situation we were in. So I think it's most fans kind of sit somewhere in the middle of not overspending, chucking daft money at people, but we have to try and compete. If there's players available, that will make us better.
Honestly, if you do finish 6th, for example, and go out of the playoffs at the semi-final stage, will fans still recognise that as a good season?
I think so. I mean, me personally, I watched the Premier League. I watched the game just there, and I'm thinking, if we won that league, we'd be lambs to the slaughter. And it's sometimes the journey is better than the destination. It's all great winning games in the Championship and having that party if you get promoted, but then you've got a season of turmoil to follow. You're pretty certain to kind of be fighting relegation, and defeat after defeat, you lose your manager, and it just becomes a bit of a mess again. So, yeah, that's where you want to be, but it's a difficult step to make. If we get there, we get there, but it won't be pretty.
Okay. All right, we'll leave that debate there. Then again, please press a like on the video. Drop us a comment below as to what you think about succession planning. Is it fate or is it just good luck? Charlie, this week football talk has all been about set pieces, and in particular the importance of some teams' reliance on it. So I thought we'd have a look at how Sunderland do in terms of set pieces. That is not the one I wanted to. Oh. Give me 1 second. Yeah, cheers for that, Jamie. So, Charlie, we're looking at set pieces then this week, because in football, all the talk has been about set pieces. When we have a look at Sunderland's set pieces, I expected this to be a bit higher, but then we talk about maybe corner taking and goals not from there, but 4 goals all season from set pieces. First of all, as a football fan, do you think we've gone too far in employing set piece coaches and having a heavy reliance on all the scrutiny on set pieces? Isn't it just a case of stick a good ball in the box and get someone's head on it? Isn't it? Is that simple?
I don't have any problem with the set piece coaches. I wish they weren't put on Sky all the time. Like, I don't know why that happens, but yeah, don't have a problem with that. I mean, the first 2 games of the season, we scored 2. I mean, they were pretty much the same set piece, but it was clearly like something we worked on. So if it works, then I keep going with it. But it evidently hasn't worked since then. I can't remember what the other 2 set pieces are. But if they think that is a good way of getting a goal, then I've got no problem with it. Just maybe not as much spotlight on them.
Dylan, who's your best set piece taker at the moment?
Now,
Yeah.
well, the chopping and changing every game, because I think that's one thing that we really do lack, and we have lacked probably since Aidan McGeady left. I think everyone seemed to think that Pritchard was this brilliant set piece taker when we had him, but he scored 2 back-to-back free kicks in League One, didn't score one since, and I don't think I ever saw him beat the first man from a corner, and he's one of the better set piece takers we've had in recent years, so that just says all that we need to say. I think we've been, since the likes of, Kieran Richardson and Seb Larson, we've really missed a sort of free kick specialist, even a corner specialist, because as I said, we struggle to beat the first man. So if we fancy signing one in January, that'd be great.
My next question was going to be, who's been the best ever set piece taker for Sunderland? We'll get these guys' view on that in a second. Give them some thinking time. I want to get your FA Cup reaction though, if that's okay, as well. John, could it have been even less boring a draw? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. Like, super boring, and we're playing them. I think we've just played them, and then we're due to play them sort of very soon as well. So yeah, I think it's one of the most pointless fixtures ever. Even the league games, I don't really like them. Just play all the kids. Just have your day out and just get rid of it. I said last week I wanted Newcastle beat them away and then lose to Shrewsbury in the next round. But yeah, what a pointless game. But we have to play it, so just get it done, get it gone.
There's a rumour that Sunderland fans are going to be Bromley fans for an afternoon. Not going to be buying a Bromley away ticket, are you, fellas? And sticking a Bromley? Tell me that's just a joke.
Nah, well, I won't be getting a Bromley ticket. Like,
Okay, all right.
I'll be keeping a keen eye on it. Getting a ticket.
Jamie, what's your view on the FA Cup? Could you care two figs about it?
Not one iota. There's some great ties in the 3rd round draw, but ours is probably bottom of the pile, to be honest. It's just a drab game.
Just get through, isn't it? All right, then it's a season of goodwill. So we're asking you this week, who's been the best fans to visit the Stadium of Light this season, to give some positivity and cheer to some other fans. Charlie, kick it off for you. I don't like where you put the away fans these days. I've got to be honest with you. I think it ruins the atmosphere. I wish you put them back where I was as an Everton fan when I visited many years ago. But who's been the best for you?
I mean, I sit on the other side of the ground, so I feel like I haven't really got a very good opinion because I very rarely can I actually hear anyone. There hasn't been anyone this season who've really stood out. I'll give credit to the Stoke fans, to be fair, for turning up. I mean, there wasn't that many of them, but I think there was 4 or 5 blocks worth of them in that weather have turned up on Saturday lunchtime, so I'll give them the dues.
Okay.
Compare that to West Brom on the Tuesday, who I was really disappointed with, so I'd say Stoke. I haven't really been impressed.
Right, as much as it pains me, I'm going to have to say Leeds because they always come in numbers, and quite frankly, I think the fact that our fans were probably louder that game as well because they knew the Leeds fans were going to be making a lot of noise says a lot. It probably helped with the atmosphere of that game, definitely. So as much as we don't like them, we'll probably have to say Leeds.
Okay. Jamie?
Yeah, I think Dylan's nailed it. I think Leeds, potentially Borough came in good numbers, but we've had such a good home record this season that not many away fans have kind of had much to sing about. So there's no one that's really kind of set the world alight.
Okay. John?
Yeah, same. Like I said, I think Dylan's nailed it. I thought Leeds were decent. It was nice to see the video when Melee chucked it in because they weren't as loud then. So I'll give them their due, but they were very quiet at that point.
Very good.
I did forget about Leeds. I will say that's been my list. They probably will be up.
Fair enough. Right, let us know in the comments below if you've spotted any fans about that. But our big question this week is: who's the best set piece taker in Sunderland's history? Come on, we want to know the name of the person. When you were stood over a free kick that you knew something exciting was going to happen. Jamie, can you start this one off?
Just one name. Seb Larson, I imagine. Seb Larson. Craig Gardner hit a few big ones for us. Back at Roker Park, I had Chris Waddle for a bit. And he was, but that's cool. But honestly, we haven't been blessed with any, but I'll go with Seb Larson.
Seb Larson. John?
I think in my lifetime, I can always remember Nicky Summerby putting a cracking ball in from set pieces and corners. But it does help having 2 of the best headerers of the ball in there in Quinn and Phillips, and Dicio to come on. So for me, most consistent is probably Nicky Summerby.
Okay. Charlie?
Bit of a rogue one, Wabi Kazri. There was always something that could happen when Kazri took a set piece, so I'll give it to him.
Yeah, we did not see that one coming. I've got to give you that credit, that one, Charlie. Dylan?
No, to be fair, if no one else said it, I was going to shout Wabi Kazri out just for scoring directly from a corner kick. Yeah. But I think purely for that one free kick alone, we're going to have to say Kieran Richardson because people still talk about it to this day, the one he scored against the Max. So you've got to give him a mention. Okay,
good shouts. All right, then 2 games for Sunderland this week. Bristol City at home first. They've just been battered by Portsmouth, Dylan. So should be 3 points there, yeah?
Well, we've been saying it should be 3 points for weeks and it's not been happening, but I think it's we definitely do need to start getting a few wins back on the board now. I think we need a good 3 or 4 on the bounce just to get back in the swing of things. So you'd like to hope we can get the win on Tuesday.
Okay, I'm recording this, of course, before that game. Swansea away then, Jamie. Tricky place to go. They don't concede many, and defensively they are tight as a you-know-what. Take a draw here?
Yeah, I think if we can win on Tuesday night, go there and come back with a point, we'll take that. We'll take kind of over the week. We'll take 3 from Stoke, 3 from Bristol, and a point down at Swansea. It's a good return.
Okay, brilliant. All right. Busy week then. Football just keeps coming, and we're here to review it all. Please drop us a subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you in 7 days' time to review it all over again. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, fellas. Have a great week.